Welcome back, everyone, with this series currently tied up at 1 apiece. Our final match is winning to take on the semi-finals. The winner will go to the semis, facing Fnatic, the loser. They're going to be in the 5th place match, and that will be played tomorrow. But it's a big match because the loser of that match will go into relegation or the summer promotion tournament, whatever you'd like to talk about. Let's talk about the game that has just happened. It was all about Froggen. Froggen and Wickd, once they got going, it was huge.
They were basically just taking time bombs, going into the late game. Ryze, Karthus, of course. So it meant for Copenhagen Wolves, with their composition, if they made 1 or 2 mistakes in the game, Alliance could capitalize on it, take the Baron, and finish the game. And it's what we saw. We saw with Given being caught out. I mean, he did a good job. For most of the game, he outfarmed Tabzz pretty much the entire game long, but whenever it came to teamfights, he was just over-aggressive, and Alliance punished it.
And let's talk about Tabzz, because Tabzz himself, as you mentioned, was out-farmed in the lane, but he managed to turn it around despite his crazy aggression he was sometimes showing.
Yeah, and he actually managed to go 4-0-6 on Lucian, even though he jumped into the face of people again and again and again. So he didn't die from it. He managed to pull back in farm, and in teamfights he was always a very big presence. Like, putting up a lot of damage onto Copenhagen Wolves, always forcing them to back off a little bit, never really just letting them push down to the turrets.
And for the Copenhagen Wolves, what have they got to do coming into this match? Of course, we saw in Game 1, they went the bruisers, they were diving in. This time around, they didn't go for that. They went for more of a poke, more of a delicate comp, but they allowed Alliance far too much time. You can't allow players like Alliance, that are on Alliance, time to basically farm yourself back into this game. They had a 4,000 goal advantage.
Yeah.
Yet effectively, it meant nothing when it came to them teamfights.
So I have a feeling their pick you were talking about for YoungBuck, where I feel I can 1v1 anyone, might actually have been the Ryze pick. But because Wickd didn't decide to last pick it, because he locked it in before seeing the top lane, he felt the same way he could 1v1 everyone. It meant that when locking in the Dr. Mundo, yes, you get very tanky in the late game, but you don't have the same impact as a Ryze when it comes to late game points. So it meant that Copenhagen Wolves, instead of, if they had the Ryze themselves, their late game would have been very, very strong. Like Lulu Ryze, you have this unkillable Ryze who just goes completely crazy on everyone. Instead they had the Dr. Mundo, so they lacked a lot of damage, and it meant they got outscaled into late game. So what I think Copenhagen Wolves really needs to do now is be careful they don't pick a comp which gets outscaled, because Alliance are very, very good at extending the game, and Copenhagen Wolves have shown issues finishing games.
Well, we are going to be getting the game underway in just a moment. This is, of course, the final match. The quarterfinals. We're going to have Gambit versus Roccat coming up after this game as well. It is a big, big game, though. Who will go through the semi-finals? Will it be Copenhagen Wolves or will it be Alliance? Fnatic await their destiny. The picks and bans are underway. You can already see Jackson Karma being taken away. Renekton and Aurelia. No surprises there. Yeah. Lots of focus on the top lane, though.
A lot of focus on the top lane, and the new ban here is actually Karma. Picked twice by Unlimited. He's been doing very good job on it, always being dominant in the early game. And in the mid game, Karma provides so much utility to your team, kiting around. And Copenhagen Wolves have been using it to get these early turrets and get the lead. So that's why they actually banned away now. Yasuo as well. Don't want to have cowTard.
cowTard was not happy with that.
No. But here's the thing, actually. Normally a team who wins the first game loses the next. They tend to fall back a little bit on, okay, what worked in game 1. So with Alliance banning this Yasuo away, they make sure cowTard can fall back on what worked for him in game 1.
Maybe trying to force it back onto that Lulu. Nidalee was, of course, the final ban taken away from Froggen. No surprise, he's been banned all 3 games. But we see Wickd on Ryze, locked in instantly as their first pick. Not going for the Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is available, didn't go for that jungler. They want to get Wickd on that champion.
We talked in game 1 about how there's so many junglers now. So many viable junglers. So even though you log in Kha'Zix, it doesn't mean the enemy team doesn't have anything to pick now. There's still Evelynn is open in this case. Nocturne is open. Zhao is open. There's so many options for Copenhagen Wolves jungle-wise. So locking in the Ryze means top lane, we got the same situation now. What is YoungBuck going to pick against this Ryze, where he doesn't get outscaled?
Well, we do see Ziggs possibly going to be picked up for cowTard this time around. It was played by Froggen in game 1. He went for Lulu in game 2. We'll see whether it gets locked in first. Evelynn, though, for amazing. That's going to be taken away from Shook. Shook, of course, went for least in last game. Could just revert straight back to it again.
Yeah, you could go for the Kha'Zix, which is, of course, still left open. Kassadin, of course, is enabled. We need to remember it's very different Kassadin from what we used to see here, but could definitely be a pick here for Froggen if he decides to lock it in. Laning against the Ziggs, I'm not 100% sure about the matchup, because Ziggs with so much early damage onto you. Yes, of course, your Q on Kassadin now provides a small shield, against magic damage, so you can absorb some of the damage, but still, it's very hard for you to farm because you are melee still, and Ziggs is just gonna fire away on you.
Well, it could be Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix was first picked by Alliance in game 1. It was semi-successful, I think it's safe to say. He was the man that jumped in. He was the one that always took the initial burst. And again, they're going to try and force Forgiven onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn just didn't work out very well for Forgiven in the last game. They put a lot of pressure on early game, but we saw how aggressive Tabzz was on the Lucian. We'll see whether he does it again.
If he does it again, yes. What I like about Lucian compared to Caitlyn is the fact that you don't have a weak point as Lucian in the game. The mid game from Caitlyn is not ideal. You don't have enough damage compared to a Lucian, compared to a Jinx, for instance. These are AD carries. So by locking in this Lucian here, if they force him on Caitlyn, yes, okay. We've seen the early laning phase go wrong for Tabzz on Lucian against Caitlyn, but still, as soon as you get to the mid game point, you do more damage. So that's where the pick is perfectly fine for Alliance, and of course with Kha'Zix and Ryze already locked in too. Your late game is pretty much secured, because you have one of the best late game junglers who can tank so much damage with his ultimate. It is slightly nerfed being 4.5. Instead of just being able to pop it instantly now, there's a very short cooldown, so you have a little time between your ultimates where people can actually target you without the 50% damage reduction. And also turrets now do full damage to you. You don't reduce the reduction there.
Yeah, which was a big part of it. They are pondering slowly over this one. It is going to be Caitlyn locked in for Forgiven, and YoungBuck will once again take Mundo in that top lane.
So the difference for Copenhagen Wolves compared to last game is, of course, you have Ziggs instead of Lulu. Now, Ziggs late game provides a lot of damage. A lot of damage. But is it enough? Because what we saw in the last game, especially if this Karthus gets locked in, is that Alliance got to the point in late game where they were just too tanky for Copenhagen to do anything. They didn't have enough damage because you've talked to Mundo top lane. You have an AD carry who needs time to do her damage and needs her items to do the damage. So they didn't really have anything to do in the team fights, and it might be the same scenario here.
Well, Karthus' potential, as you mentioned, is almost identical, and they keep flicking back to that Cassidy, and we'll see whether it comes out. Nami, this would almost be an identical team. All you'd be doing is literally switching Lee Sin out for Kha'Zix so far. LeBlanc is an option, of course, with Ziggs in there, maybe getting in Assassin, blowing him up. Once you take away that flash from that mid lane, he can become fairly immobile. But they're going to go with what worked in the last game, and literally one champion difference for Alliance in this team build. We know what to expect.
We know what to expect, of course. Alliance, passive laning phase. Copenhagen, they need to lane swap on this. They need to lane swap, shut down Wicked early on in the top lane, because Ryze, you bring nothing in a 1v2. Like, you're so easy to dive. Your damage is very low early on here compared to what it could, like, compared to the late game point of Ryze, of course. So Ryze is an early game champion. It's very easy to shut down in a lane swap. So Copenhagen, they need to swap over here, because YoungBuck is going to have an easier time farming. He's going to be more tanky in the early levels, so it's going to be harder to dive. So they can shut down Wicked now, and then afterwards they kill the turrets, and Wicked needs to just freeze the lane. They can take objectives. They can start pushing all the lanes. Remember, the wave clear on this Alliance side, also looking at the last game, is calling, of course, from Lucian, his ultimate, and you got your Skittles from Karthus to try and clear the wave. But it's not instant. You don't instant clear the wave with any of these champions unless Ryze gets in with his ultimate. So it means Copenhagen Wolves will get time to hit the turrets because of the wave clear from, or the lack of instant wave clear from Alliance.
Explain to me what Leona brings to the team at the end there, because you don't want to be diving in, especially when there's a Karthus and Ryze. We're talking 20-30 minute mark. Solar Flare, yes, is going to lock up the team, but you don't want to be going at them. You've got a Ziggs and Caitlyn. You want to be hitting them from range. So what are you going to be going in with Leona?
Well, if you get to the point where you actually land some of your poke, you get someone low, you have some hard engage. They didn't have any hard engage last time. They needed Evelynn to like flank around, or YoungBuck to teleport behind them to try and start something. Now they do have hard engage, but I will agree with you. It is definitely not ideal in a comp like this against something like Karthus, because once Leona goes in, you don't come out again. You don't really come out again. Like, you go full in, lock down the target, and then Karthus is going to be right next to you with the file doing so much damage to you. So it means for Copenhagen Wolves, with this comp, they really need to land the poke. They really need to get ahead as well, so they get to the point where they can force Alliance to stay at the turrets, and then can land the poke from Ziggs, land the poke here from Caitlyn, and then they can engage whenever they feel. It does also mean the mid-game could be more aggressive from Copenhagen Wolves, because now they actually do have hard engage to try and shut down Ryze and Karthus before they get to the late game point.
Well, we'll We'll see how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to get Game 3 underway here. Alliance, they managed to pick up a victory in Game 2, but Copenhagen Wolves dominated Game 1. However, Alliance, they've gone back to basics. They've pulled out the champions that worked in the last game. Why change them? All they've done, swapped out Lucian for a Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix was the first pick for them in Game 1, so clearly a more favorable champion for Shook. We'll see how it works out for them as we get the game underway. Remember, the winner of this match will be facing Fnatic in those semi-finals, the 3rd versus 6th place up against the 2nd place, and the winner of Gambit Roccat are going to be up against SK Gaming. Nobody wants to lose this match, that is for sure, and it's going to be a very delicate affair, I feel. Copenhagen Wolves have had a great level 1 start in the last 2 matches. Let's see if they can do it again.
Same start for supports, both have a ward, already placed one actually for Unlimited here, so they got some vision if Alliance decides to come up and try and get the blue buff off Copenhagen Wolves.
So Alliance sticking together as a full group this time around, not being forced. Remember, they got lucky in the last game. They got very lucky. Shook got in, got that blue buff, and got away quick.
But there's one very smart thing Alliance can do here with Karthus. Always check the bushes here with his Q. Make sure they never face check anyone from Copenhagen Wolves. He already hit Amazing 1, so they pinged him out. They knew he was there. And as long as he checks here, Alliance won't really be just running straight into 5 people and dying.
They're all heavy pinging on the exact push that they're all stood in. Good Ziggs bomb there would have been nice. Let's see whether he tosses it out. A Piltover and a Ziggs bomb would be fantastic, but they've got to be careful. Alliance are moving in. cowTard spots them. They see the whole team there. They do roll out those bouncing bombs. They got themselves a ward on that red buff, and that's going to give them the information they require to see where exactly the Wolves are starting.
And both Tabzz and Nyph are actually moving down towards the bottom lane. Wickd around his mid lane area. He does have teleport, so you can always just teleport up to the lane in case. The rest of Copenhagen Wolves, though, they want to go for this blue buff, it seems.
Wickd's going to go straight headlong into the ball.
He didn't even look. He didn't look.
Didn't even notice, and that was a very easy first blood for the Copenhagen Wolves.
Easiest first blood ever for Copenhagen Wolves. Wickd was clearly looking at the top lane at the time, so he just ran straight into 5 people. They didn't even have to invest any summoners to kill him.
Auto pathfinding, it's a killer, that's for sure. So, Alliance, they've got 2 members down the bottom. It's going to be a 2v1 switch around this time around. We'll see whether the Wolves can push on. Remember, they did this in Game 1, but it was in the top lane, the bottom lane they pushed in heavily. YoungBuck going very low there. Wickd, he didn't fancy it. And that's just the power of Evelynn. Didn't know who was nearby.
And also level 1 Ryze, your damage is very limited. Wow, cowTard!
Quick level 2 from Froggen there, trying to put the pressure down on cowTard. cowTard being taken very low early on.
Very, very aggressive play by Froggen early on. Of course, with exhaust, if cowTard had been too close to him, he could exhaust him there, forced him to flash away because he would just land every single Q onto him. But Shook, because his own blue buff was gone, but because Copenhagen Wolves were not in a position to actually stop him from doing this, they just trade the buffs here. Still the first blood for Copenhagen Wolves, so they're definitely in the advantage. And they got the lane drop we talked about in Champ Select. This is the time where they really need to shut down Ryze. Make sure he doesn't get to this late game point.
So we're going to have a stack, a 3-man stack at the bottom and a 3-man stack at the top. This time around, it's going to favor Alliance. They're going to be the ones that are pushing on towards it. They've got that Kha'Zix going to go in there. Of course, Evelynn's going to be pushing in, but they've already started to put pressure on that tower. The bottom tower will be weaker at this stage of the game, but Wickd, if he face checks, he gets caught out by that Zenith Blade, forced to flash away. Draw the flash this time away from Unlimited, but they are on the toy.
Yeah, well, Alliance is so far ahead in this tower push here. They can just continue going. They might even force Copenhagen Wolves to recall after the first turret because they're going to get to the second one before they even kill the first.
Well, they're pushing, pressuring, keeping it down. They're going to take this one, that's for sure. Meanwhile, the pressure in that mid lane is continuing to just siege between it. Froggen really putting a lot of pressure on cowTard this time around, but Alliance still pushing the bot wave.
And Froggen loves this. Because of the lane swaps, he knows there's no jungle pressure because he can see Amazing up here in the top lane. Against Evelynn, as long as there's a lane swap and you force her to either go defend or go dive somewhere, you have full vision. So it means Froggen in the mid lane can just stay at the turret, try to land the skills, and whoa, Wickd coming around on cowTard.
He's got a minion wave there, he's just going to run straight around, and that's a kill for Wickd. Easily done. He does manage to just juke around, the minions are there, he gets out safe.
Very, very smart play by Wickd. Yes, the jungle presence isn't there, so why not take your top laner? He can't defend anyway. But meanwhile here, Amazing actually recalled to defend his turret.
He's had to come down. The top wave is still being pushed though. The duo partnership of Forgiven Unlimited, but it's going to take them a long time to get damage on that. And remember, Wickd, despite that first blood, has got the kill, and now he's got the tier very early on.
Wow, perfect for Wickd. Going in there, get the kill, get the tier. Otherwise, he would have been delayed by such a long time because he wouldn't have enough gold for it.
Well, we see Alliance continuing to push. The bubble doesn't quite land, but there is a minion wave in there. Amazing doing what he can, but Nyph and Tabzz continue to hammer down on that turret. Bottom turret has gone down first though, so Copenhagen Wolves doing a great job of trading and defending this top turret.
Yeah, now they just need to back up here. Alliance actually already backing off, so very good play by Copenhagen Wolves. And with the Wicked thing, of course, with the goal from the turret, he would have been off for the tier, so he would have gotten anyway, but the kill, of course, always helps.
Well, YoungBuck is going to get himself a tiny piece of farm there. They didn't get that inner turret down the bottom, so again, the Copenhagen one was with these lane pushes, lane shoves, whatever you want to call it, the fast push mode. They come out on top once again against Alliance. Alliance, though, look at Wickd, holding steady, not going to push that wave at all, and he's quite happy to farm it there, and that's going to cause problems for YoungBuck when they rotate back around.
Yeah, well, it does open up for Copenhagen Wolves to try and force a dragon, to force Wickd to teleport in and join the fight, and then get him away from this lane where he's just picking up the farm. But it seems for now, none of the teams really fancy it. YoungBuck just won the level 4, now running in, actually going to recall, so he's going to return up here to this top lane, but it's going to be a long time before the wave is at his turret.
Yeah, you can see Wicked's not moving at all, happy to stay there. Pink Ward being used by Alliance, clearing out the vision around that Wraith camp. Dragon, of course, was the next focus target for the Wolves in the previous games, but this time around I don't think they're going to do it. Oh, Unlimited, he's going to face check straight in there. Does manage to put the ward down, but the rest of the team close in towards him. They get a good burst of damage. Remember, he used the flash to try and go aggressive on Wicked earlier on, but now they're going to turn it around.
Oh,
Set in the
nice.
fight, lock up on Shook. Shook goes down, and there's 4 members suddenly. Copenhagen Wolves with YoungBuck teleporting in. Now they are going to go for Dragon.
Yeah, now they will start the Dragon. Froggen is actually moving down from the mid lane. No, staying as cowTard comes in to clear the wave. So let's see what he decides to do. He's level 6, so he got quite a lot of damage to bring.
Well, I don't think he's going to go too deep. I'm going to say
stoning him away.
There's 5 members of the Copenhagen Wolves. He can't get close to this one, of course, with that smite being taken down by Shook. It does mean the Wolves once again take themselves the first Dragon of the game.
Yeah, once again, very good early start by Copenhagen Wolves. Counter game from Amazing here when they actually did chase onto Unlimited. As soon as Amazing was there, he turned around, got the stun onto Kha'Zix, killed him, and that was the Dragon.
So, fantastic start. Alliance are trailing once again, but we know they need those tiers. They need to stack them up. Wicked's pushed that wave in finally, and YoungBuck now is going to try and clear it. He decided to stop holding it, of course. The moment YoungBuck teleported down there, he's like, we need to shove the wave up as quick as possible, but YoungBuck did a great job getting back into that top lane and clearing out a giant stack of farm. I think there was like 3 stacks pushed in there as well.
He didn't actually lose too much from it, of course, also with the objective goal from the Dragon here, so very smart play. He ran all the way up there. He used the teleport actually to join in, so by him running all the way up there, got all the farm, so perfect play by Copenhagen Wolves and YoungBuck.
So farm continuing. Meanwhile, in that mid lane, we are seeing just off at the side, Unlimited trying to get a peek. Remember, Zenith Blade is available this time. He has got flash. They're going to go in towards Froggen. Satchel Charge was not used yet, and cowTard is not going to be able to catch out on Froggen yet.
So Copenhagen Wolves actually decided to abandon this bottom lane. They don't feel like they can actually go toe-to-toe against Nami, Lucian, mainly due to Leona. They don't have the poke they did yesterday, or last game, of course, with Karma, where they just poked him down from the start. So this time around, they actually abandoned the bottom lane and just let Lucian push all the way out. And now Caitlyn is going to run over and get the farm.
Well, something Froggen has got is the blue buff. It's something he didn't get very often in the previous matchup. This time around, going to be very grateful for that late wave. He's going to continue farming. He had a big CS advantage in game 1, and it seems, despite the fact he's up against a Ziggs instead of a Lulu this time around, he's continuing that farm advantage.
And looking here at YoungBuck, just shoving down the wave from Wickd. These top laners are just going to trade big wave to big wave. They build it up, push it down, and then they recall. So now Wickd comes up here. It's going to be quite a lot ahead of CS actually, because there's a big wave he can pick up now where YoungBuck, of course, is getting 0 CS, and there's no Dragon for him to go for. So YoungBuck needs to just return to top lane, and cowTard, man, a lot of pressure the entire early game from Froggen onto him.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on towards him. We saw Nyph just coming and getting that little poke towards him, but with the blue buff, he's going to clear that wave out, no problem. Not going to be too worried about it. But if Shook can get in, get clean on towards him, Pink Ward was taken away from that river. And that means, of course, they're going to have to ward it straight back. Double wards.
And Unlimited is just trying to move around 2 lanes here, get some XP, get some wards down, because, again, if he joins the bottom lane here and they push it all the way up, we need to remember there's no turret. Teleport behind him from Wickd, or a gank from Shook, and there's no turret for him to escape or to run to, so it would be such a long way up that they would die and just give up kills to Alliance. So that's why Unlimited is staying around this mid lane here, because he's in midfield. I can't go anywhere else.
And Wickd just absolutely freezing that lane where it stands, just holding on towards it. Shook actually is going to see YoungBuck passing on by. He's going to walk around, throw Chuck a chopper at him. Doesn't land it though. Blue buff was taken away already, so the Wolves are not going to gain anything around this jungle area. They're hoping that they can catch out maybe Shook, maybe try and make a pick of it, because there's really nothing offered to YoungBuck at the moment with Wickd holding this wave here.
Now this is where Copenhagen Wolves either need to make a play on Wickd or make a play on someone else on the map. They could have went 4 people mid lane trying to just kill Froggen in there and take the turret. It seems though, however, they actually want to kill Wickd even though he's so close to his own base.
Yeah, that's a risky play. I mean, I'd be amazed if they take him down here. It'd be a major misplay, I feel, for Wicked's part. The fact that he's got flash available, that he's that close to his own inhibitor turret, means that it would be a wild play. But they're just trying to create something of, ironically, the situation they created. And again, the Wall of Pain lands on cowTard, takes a couple of lay wastes, and doesn't manage to return the damage to Froggen. He's getting out-poked here. Yeah,
but again, beforehand, there were 4 members of Copenhagen Wolves around this mid lane. Diving at Karthus is never a good idea. We can agree. But still, Copenhagen Wolves, they have no place to make here. So they try to go down here to Wickd, try and set something up, trying to stop him from this farm, because look how far ahead he's actually getting here. Instead, I do feel, however, they could actually went in, kill Froggen, or at least forced him away from the turret and then pushed it down.
Leona does come in there in the form of Unlimited, trying to see if he can land that poke, try and keep that tower pressure on there. They've shoved the bottom wave one again back into Tabzz, who is free farming that one. Froggen's going to get an ace and a hole in, that's going to get blocked off by Shook, and they're keeping that pressure on this mid turret.
Yeah, so now they're actually rotating here with 4 members. Amazing didn't show himself, but a good bubble.
That's a good bubble. All the pain went down and he took a tower hit, but there wasn't a great deal of return from that one.
And instantly, actually, they forced Wickd now to move from this top lane. So he's with the team. Because there were so many members from Copenhagen was pushing on the turret, and because the wave clear wasn't there from Alliance, with Tabzz down the bottom lane, just free farming for himself. So teams now reset a bit. Copenhagen Wolves at least forced Wickd away from his top lane.
Well, while Alliance are pushing the bottom, it's going to be Tabzz down the bottom lane that they're going to try and collapse in towards. So you can see Amazing already making his way down there. Can he get towards him? Mega Inferno Bomb being used to clear out that wave, and Amazing does step away. Didn't get spotted out though. That was just sheerly Tabzz saying, you know, there's quite a lot of people making moves towards you.
Yeah.
Back away, buddy.
Yeah, there was 4 members in mid, now there's only Ziggs. Clearly something is going on. I'm not going to continue going up here in my lane, so he just wisely enough backed off.
Tabzz is continuing good farm, and this time around he is keeping up with Forgiven, despite the fact they've not really been in lane with one another. There's not been any harassment between them. YoungBuck in that top lane, he's trying to do the same that Wicked's been doing. He's trying to keep that wave frozen, but honestly, Alliance are happy with that because the Dragon's up in 7 seconds and they're the ones in position for it.
Yeah, well, Teleport is ready for YoungBuck, so he can join down. He's actually going to go back to base and shop now, so he can join in as strong as possible for this fight. But Alliance, yeah, as you said, good position, actually starting out the Dragon already.
Just slide down, he's already down to half hit points down. Amazing lingering off at the side. He wants to get involved in this one, but I'm not too sure they want to go for it. He's going to try and run in anyway, and he gets caught out by the wave there. But Alliance are happy to step away from this one. Shook can just jump out of the pit, and they're all clear.
And YoungBuck used his teleport, even though he was never close to actually joining the fight. Forgiven was trying to run from his own turret, so he was never close to joining either. It means it was just a free Dragon for Alliance, and they got the teleport while Wicked kept his own.
Wicked's going to be happy to hold on to that one. Mid lane, 3 members stacked up, but Froggen's keeping them at bay with that layways, that defile. They're going to try and rotate around, take away the blue buff from them, which has spawned, and the Wolves are coming for this one. I don't think Shook's going to get close enough. Remember, he doesn't quite have smite just yet. They can delay it a little bit longer. The pressure from Alliance may be enough to keep him at bay. He's going to jump in,
he
gets the smite.
Yeah, Shook got the smite here, jumped in. Again, they don't get the blue buff onto Froggen, which is the whole goal for Copenhagen Wolves here. Of course, it would be a bonus picking up the blue themselves, but they want to make sure Froggen doesn't get blue, so he can't just go farm all the jungle camps and just get really, really strong. So at least the tactic works somewhat for them, even though Shook smites it away.
Dangerous time for Tabzz here. Could get tower dived. Unlimited has got that solar flare available, which is why Nyph is now making a move towards there. And actually, Froggen is doing raids actually off the side. The Aqua Prison does come down, Forgiven quickly 90 Kilometer away from that one. Tabzz keeps the farm going.
keep the farm going, but the turret took a lot of damage. So next time Cobra and Wolves get a push like this, if Nyph is not there, they will be able to pick it up. Meanwhile, though, this top lane just standing there, pushing down a big wave to Wickd now. He can freeze it once again, and then YoungBuck can try and do something else, or he can try and push it all the way into the turret, which will be a little bit risky. If Shook is nearby, he can try and force YoungBuck away. So both top laners at the moment, though, just trading big waves.
Just happy to stack out that tier. They're just delaying the game once again. This is exactly what happened. And the Wolves, again, they will have a bit more damage this time in the late game, but they are allowing Alliance to just stack out the tiers, keep that power building on both Ryze and Karthus.
And this is actually why I thought they picked Leona. So at this stage of the game, when Wickd just want to farm, when Froggen just wants to farm, that's why you can make plays on Leona. You can set something up. But they haven't, or they don't really feel confident enough, it seems, to actually start something. They don't want to dive onto Froggen to try and force him away from the turret.
YoungBuck tries to keep him here, and they're going to clear out the wave and try and shove it straight in, which does actually force Froggen to stay. It's going to be a sweep from Unlimited, clearing out that Triforce. They do have 3 members down here. Remember, you'd said the tower was taken pretty low in the last push. So, they're going to get caught out here. Nyph's going to be the focus. Solar Flare used, Ace in the hole's going to get blocked out by Tabzz. Great defensive work from Alliance.
Good work here, forced away the flash though, so they got something from Cobra and Wolf's side, and they're actually rotating in towards this red buff. Got a good deep ward here, you can see people moving around here from Alliance side. But just seems actually, no, 5 members of Cobra and Wolves are moving down towards this bottom lane. They really want this turret now.
They're going to try and come towards it. cowTard is back in base at the moment, but again, Tabzz are doing a great job at keeping that wave clear. Alliance are all now there. Wickd does have teleport if he needs it, but he's going to keep pushing. The fact that the YoungBuck showed himself down this bottom wave, I think they will take the tower. They could probably brute force it out.
They're scared of the teleport and the ultimate from Froggen, so they don't feel they can just go in and take the turret with so many members from Alliance there. And there's no teleport in YoungBuck, so he needs to run all the way up to the top lane if he wants this big wave that Wickd is pushing up.
Yeah, he's fast pushing it straight in there, trying to drive it in towards the tower, trying to make him lose as much experience as possible. cowTard was debating his Mega Inferno Bomb there, I feel, and I'm pretty sure YoungBuck was like, don't you dare take away my farm.
Yeah, so with the cannon minion as well, it's going to take some time for the wave to even die, so he's plenty of time to get up there. Cannon minion won't even die, he's going to pick it up. He only lost 1 minion on this, so no problem.
Not too much of a problem. That means YoungBuck's going to hold the lane for a while, I feel, so...
And push it down, big wave, and Wickd is going to say thank you.
Back and forward, yeah, it goes. Shook actually almost stepping on Amazing there, instead just going to pounce away, wasn't sure what position he was in. So let's have a look at some of the items. We can see Bloodthirsters have been completed by both AD carries. They've been there for a while actually, and if we look across towards the gold, it's actually forgiven with the advantage right now because we just saw the Sheen being picked up by Tabzz. Meanwhile, the mid lane as well, no surprise there. Rod of Age is coming out for both Wickd and Froggen. We know the story, we know what they're going. Let's see what cowTard and more importantly, YoungBuck can do to counter it.
Well, cowTard really needs to build a lot of damage here because his team they need to avoid the same issue they had in the last game where they simply didn't have the damage to take down Alliance. So he needs to go death cap, everything. But Telvart coming down here to the bottom lane.
It's going to be Wickd coming in there. Hasn't got the home guard boost. Can't jump on towards them. They're going to get caught out though. Rune Prison goes down. Solar Flare flashed out of. Not too sure whether Wickd needed to go for that one. Dragon only up in about a minute's time, so that's not really the focus. It's just a straight up brawl in the bot lane. Mega Inferno Bomb not going to quite be enough damage, and everybody disengages. Very low hit points, but not low enough for Froggen to pull the trigger.
A lot of summoners though burned, or at least 2 flashes burned from Cobra and Wolf's side here, so for the dragon fight they won't be ready. On the other side here, only Wickd actually used his flash in the fight, so small advantage to Alliance. But now Cobra and Wolf, they stay in this bottom lane. They just want to continue pushing. Alliance didn't manage to kill them and then force them away.
Good damage onto Forgiven there from Tabzz. Quickly trades it back. Aqua Prison does not quite land. Tabzz going aggressive once again. We saw this in game 3 and continuing to keep that pressure on Forgiven.
And Amazing, I don't think they actually spotted him yet. He never moved into range of it, so he's just staying in the bush here. But Shook is nearby too. If something should happen, he will be able to join him.
Would he be able to catch him early enough? That's the problem. But cowTard has taken that mid turret down all on his own up against Froggen there. So that's a good advantage gained just with 15 seconds remaining for this dragon.
And now the only issue for Wickd is that the wave over here, he won't be able to farm it as he did before because the dragon is spawned, because his teleport is down. He needs to move here. No flash onto him. He could be the target for Cobra Wolves if the land ultimate from Unlimited in his face. He's not very tanky yet, so he could definitely be the one they want to kill.
Another ward gets placed in there. The Copenhagen Wolves are in position. Alliance have all shifted into position as well. And we talked about how they don't want to get caught in that pit. It's a problem. We see YoungBuck getting caught with a little bit of burst, but a good chopper landed on Wickd and doing a sizable amount of damage there.
Quite a lot of damage here from YoungBuck, actually winning out on the trade versus Wickd. It seems though Alliance, with Froggen staying in the mid lane, I wouldn't say abandon the dragon here, but at least they're letting Copenhagen Wolves start it. Maybe they want to go in.
Remember, Requiem is available, and should this fight go the distance, and that's what they're going to be looking to do. Wickd tries to land the damage. Mega Inferno Bomb missed out, but it does mean that Copenhagen Wolves got the dragon. Now they're going to go aggressive, jumping onto Amazing, taken so low, the culling gets the damage. Requiem comes out, they pounce on Unlimited. It's another kill, this time for Froggen. Now Forgiven's going to get pounced on towards. They do back away, and it was a 2 for 0, but Copenhagen Wolves got the dragon.
2 ultimates used by Copenhagen Wolves. 2 completely missed. Wasn't even close to hitting anything here. So Alliance pick up 2 kills. Now pushing on to this mid turret. Forgiven will join in, try to wave clear it.
They may be able to clear this one out. Looks like Alliance are not going to go heavy on this one. Hasten a hole will land. Ooh, the cleaver not quite close enough on Nyph. And he steps away from that one. Blue buff steal coming in from Shook here. No doubt about this one. Has got Smite available. cowTard's going to try and come across, but it's already gone.
Good move by Shook actually. The rest of his team went mid lane first, pressured Copenhagen Wolves to stay there to try and clear, and then he just went up, took the blue buff. So very nice move. And of course, blue buff on Karthus is one thing, blue buff on Ziggs another thing, but top lane, a lot of action.
Going on to YoungBuck, YoungBuck in trouble. He's going to go down. It's going to be Tabzz and Wickd combo that picks him up there. There's a giant wave on the bottom that I wonder why Shook stepped away from. That tower's very low. That wave is going to take the turret down.
Yeah, might actually kill the turret, and now he just leaves it. He just wanted actually to kill the turret, and then he can just push into the Alliance, and then Tabzz can come down and pick up a massive wave for Wickd can recall and run down to the bottom lane and take the big wave when it comes into the turret. So it's just leaving it for now, but top lane wise, 1v1 fight, and then Tabzz, the AD carry, just comes up and ganks it and picks up a kill.
Strolls up then, can't be with that one. So, let's take a look at what's going on across the game. Copenhagen Wolves had a bigger advantage in Game 2 in a similar situation that we're in right now. Alliance, clearly, we know what's going to happen. They did it in the last game. They're going to hold out 30-minute mark, and then the power spikes will start kicking in. They'll cause problems. What are the Wolves doing to counter this? Because seemingly, they're letting it happen.
Yeah, that's first of all the first issue. When they had the chance with Wickd freezing the top lane, that's where they had to make plays elsewhere, where they forced Froggen away, picked up the turret, went bot lane, for instance, dived onto them in bot lane, picked the turrets there. They didn't manage to do anything. Yes, they got the turret bot now, they got the mid turret, but it was a bit too late because look at Wicked's farm here. And also with Wickd just recalling from top lane, 2 kills, he went down bottom lane, got a big wave again. So Alliance are just putting so much farm onto him, and Copenhagen also doing nothing to stop it. So he's just gonna get the same power spike or get to the same point as he did in the last game where Ryze becomes so strong, and then combined with Karthus, who's once again farming. Wow, Shukon very aggressive.
Very aggressive, and he's caught out. Flashes the solar flare just the right time and gets out of the Mega Inferno Bomb with that speed boost, sorry. He does manage to get away from it.
Well, again, aggressive plays by Alliance. They feel a lot more confident than they did in the last game. Shook diving onto him. Of course, he didn't have the damage reduction from the turret as we talked about in this 4.5 patch, but still can tank a lot of damage. And Alliance is staying here, getting the turret now. That's
a turret for the Alliance, and it was a big important one. They are 4-2 down in turrets, but more importantly, once they get that one down, the rest should follow. This is exactly following the pattern of the last game. We see YoungBuck off the side, trying to get some split push going, but he's up against a Ryze. Well, he's up against the Kha'Zix right now, who himself will clear the wave pretty quickly.
Yeah, and Wickd just returning down to his bottom lane. The next wave coming in, he can pick it up, continue farming, continue get to a strong point. So again, everything for Alliance, they are happily, even though they're even in gold, they are completely fine with it, just saying, you know what, we don't mind going late game at all. We need to remember, however, though, Leona and Ziggs late game are both very good. Of course, with the engage with the CC from Leona and all the damage you can bring with Ziggs here. So the late game comp from Copenhagen was not bad. Just when you are against Karthus and Ryze, you kind of get a disadvantage straight away just by those 2 picks.
YoungBuck needs to be careful. There's 2-3 members all closing the gap towards him. We've just seen the leap coming out from Shook. He's going to land the slow one towards YoungBuck. YoungBuck's going to try and flash out of this one. He's not got it available, actually. He's going to get locked up with that Rune Prison. The Aqua Prison follows through. His ultimate's just simply not regenning enough health. And there's going to be one burst. I think they want to give it across the Wicked here, which is what the delay is. Instead, Shook ganks it away.
And that was such a risk-free gank by Alliance because the rest of Copenhagen Wolves were not in a position to push anything. They spotted Forgiven all the way up in top lane. They knew cowTard was here in the mid lane. So for them going in here, they wouldn't they wouldn't lose anything. There was no turrets Copenhagen could push down, so 3 members just went down, chased on to YoungBuck, who was completely overextended, and got an easy kill again.
And just like Game 2, we're seeing Wickd and Froggen starting to power ahead in terms of farm, in terms of items. Well, you can see it. The Seraph Embrace now completed by Froggen. Wickd, well, he's not too far away from it himself. He's already at 658 stacks, so that will be completed very soon. Big items starting to come out for Alliance, and the Copenhagen Wolves have to start making some plays. YoungBuck is effectively down and out right now. He's got 1 single item complete, which is the Spirit Visage. He's been harmed, he's been hampered, he's been literally frozen out of CS every time, which is what he was doing down the bottom there. He was trying to simply buy himself some time to get that CS going. Solar Flare being used out by Unlimited and completely whiffing. And Nyph just simply stepped away from it, didn't even force a flash.
We've seen a lot of ultimates from Copenhagen Wolves this game completely missed. 2 times from Ziggs, 2 times from Leona now, and they need to land these key ultimates, especially from Leona, because that's engaged with YoungBuck now. Take a lot of damage.
He's got his ultimate running in just about in the nick of time. It came off cooldown. That sadism keeping his life in there. But Tabzz, again, going full on aggression. He used his flash, though, to go for that kill.
But it's the AD carry against the split pusher from the enemy team. There's no chance. He just goes straight onto him, does so much damage, forces YoungBuck away. So Alliance now can just, again, push out the wave, move into the jungle of Copenhagen Wolves, pick up whatever they want. Dragon is up in 2 seconds. YoungBuck is going to run to the top lane, but there's no ultimate. If he comes down for the fight with his teleport, he's not even going to be hard for Alliance to kill, actually.
They were so safe and secure on that blue buff that Shook saved the smite for this Dragon. Dragon taken down to half health very quickly. Aizen a hole being used on Froggen, but again, with that Seraph's Embrace, he doesn't do a lot of damage. And quickly, though, they're piling straight on towards him. Wickd's gone very deep on this one. The Aqua Prison catching 3 members. Shook's all on his own. Everybody seems to have gone separate, but they are picking up kills. He's going to jump away. The Requiem's going to come out. Amazing's going to catch on to Shook. No! The help comes back from Nyph, heals him up there, and it was a 2 for 0. It was a sloppy fight from Alliance, though.
A bit of a sloppy fight. They really wanted to engage here. They fought the wave from Nyph, would hit multiple members, and then the teleport from Wickd. Who, again, remember, Ryze is not too tanky yet. That's why they could turn around and force him out. But it does mean a Dragon for Alliance. And at the same time, in the fight itself, you see how strong Kha'Zix is in these fights. When he gets in there, pops his ultimate, he can just tank multiple members and still pick up a kill and jump out. That champion is very, very strong.
It turns the gold around. Copenhagen Wolves, remember, they had, what, a 1 or 2k gold lead. It was only a minor lead, but now we're seeing Alliance stepping up the pressure with a 4,000 gold lead. Blue Wolf stolen away by Amazing. No, that's not a bad job. That's going to take it away from Froggen once again. It's something they've been doing pretty much efficiently throughout these games. As it stands, though, Alliance are the dominant force, and now with the Void Staff completed for Froggen, he's just going to get stronger and stronger, and that Requiem is going to really start to hurt.
And he's almost hitting 300 CS by 27 minutes. He's going to get it very, very soon, so he's so strong. And whoa, Unlimited's going to check into Shook here.
Yeah, he's going to have to leap away from that one. Has evolved the wings, no problem there, just pounces out of position. 300 CS there for Froggen. 27 minutes into this one. Not a bad score overall when you're in your quarterfinals. It's not like it's a no-pressure match either. There's a lot on the line for this team. It's the team he built to win things. And we've got to see whether they can do it. As of yet, being pushed to the limit by the Wolves.
Well, for now at least, in this game, it looks a lot better for Alliance than it did in the last game at this point, where Copenhagen was like 5,000 gold ahead. They were pressuring turrets. This time around, though, it's actually Alliance with controlling the lanes and forcing Copenhagen to move around. YoungBuck needs to be careful, because Shook is nearby here.
As is Tabzz. Tabzz, of course, almost took him down once already, and Tabzz happily not lulling in himself into anything here, trying to play it casual, trying to play it cool. Shook ready and waiting. Claws ready to catch in towards him, and YoungBuck is still not backing off. Finally, he's going to step away. He's unsure of the position. Copenhagen Wolves actually do have pretty good ward coverage, and I was just wondering if they're going to try and start the Baron. That would be crazy.
They don't really have too much damage. Well, okay, Evelynn, of course, does quite a lot of damage to it, but it would take some time, and Alliance should really be able to get in there in time to stop them.
Wickd in trouble. He's going to get caught out. 4 members closing the gap. He's already trying to speed himself away from this one. He's going to get Agony's Embrace, trying to lock him down. Flash is not available, remember. He's going to continue running. Ace in the hole comes out. Solar Flare. Lots being burned on this one. There's the heal. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to get saved because the Seraph's Embrace is completed. And a 4-man gank with, what, 4 ultimates used to lock him down. and he just walks away without flash. It buys time for Alliance to just push the mid turret.
Yeah, things are just getting worse and worse for Copenhagen Wolves. Even when they try and gank one member without a flash, they can't kill him. They simply can't. So now they lose a turret for it. YoungBuck is going to try and come in from behind here. Can't actually start a fight. Remember, no ultimates.
No ultimates at all. And Alliance actually happy to just step away from this one. They've taken themselves an inner turret, and why not? There's no danger for them, really. Despite the Copenhagen Wolves having fantastic ward coverage, they just didn't seem to see that one coming.
Well, again, if you invest 4 members to go out there and try and kill a guy, of course you leave your mid lane open, and that's what Alliance instantly said, because Froggen is always staying in his mid lane, always keeping it pushed at least to the middle part. So as soon as they see something happening, they can easily push it up to the turret. That's what they did. Fast reactions, got a turret. And they didn't lose anything on it, except for Wickd had to click on his one item.
I can't feel that Copenhagen Wolves really need Alliance to make a mistake here. It's completely a possibility. I mean, they did it against Fnatic in that close run-up in the first game of Super Week, but it would have to be a big disadvantage for Alliance to lose the game.
One thing we can say for sure is the wave clear on Copenhagen Wolves side is very, very strong.
Yes.
Caitlyn and Ziggs, they can extend the game for a long time. So they can get to the point where they pick up their 5 and 6 items and get to the point where in these last very late team fights where the death timers are so long and everyone got full items, it's just coming down to the small details. And also, even though Karthus and Ryze are so strong in the game, they can still make mistakes. You can still get a kill onto them, catch them out of position, and then with 70 seconds or how long the death timer is at level 18, you can then push in to the enemy base.
Well, that Requiem's doing near 800 damage now, and looking at Caitlyn's health, that's half the health already, so keep our eye on that one. Of course, he has got heal available for Given, but if he gets caught out of position or cowTard, then that Requiem will be doing a heck of a lot of damage as the items continue to stack. Rabadon's Death Cap's going to be the next one for him. It has been completed by cowTard. cowTard himself, let's not discount, as you mentioned, Ziggs does a hell of a lot of damage, but again, caught out. This time going aggressive, though. Solar Flare misses this time. Ace in the hole comes through. Mega Inferno Bomb. They do get Froggen down, and the Wolves can turn this one into an advantage. Requiem being used. Not sure on that one. The rest of Alliance are close by is going to try and stop the push on the mid turret.
Yeah, Froggen used the Requiem here to try and get Copenhagen Wolves to hesitate on what to do now. At least get them, poke them down a little bit before the fight, because there's such a long time before he can join in anyway. And Alliance might actually want to try and fight this one.
Oh, we're going to see Shook jump in, but the rest of his team are not with him. Uses that stealth advantage, though. The culling on towards cowTard takes him very low, and the last shot manages to take him down. The Limited now the focus. Shook going to keep them at bay here. They may try and choose to chase because YoungBuck has been separated.
So again, Copenhagen Wolves with the advantage, had 5 members, actually end up giving a kill to Alliance. We've seen it in Game 1, we saw it in Game 2, and now Alliance actually, I'm not sure, they won't be going for this Baron, it would be way too risky for them, but at least they got some very good vision here, and they can actually try and force Copenhagen Wolves to stay around.
Yeah, Limited is sticking off the side, he's got to be
Just
careful.
checking.
Shook could pounce over towards him, don't forget. There is flashes available on Tabzz. Nyph, Wickd, everybody could pile in if they need to. Forgiven might be the target. There it is. They get a flash towards him. The damage goes down. And now Copenhagen Wolves are in all sorts of trouble. YoungBuck stood there, but simply he's going to try and run away from this one. Amazing going to get caught out, but he's running straight into the claws of Shook. And that will be a double kill for Tabzz. Froggen is back. They're going Baron.
Such a good bait by Alliance here. Tabzz actually stayed outside of the pit, so there was vision on him, and he kept cancelling his own auto attack, so it looked like he was actually hitting towards the Baron. So Copenhagen Wolves, they just went in there, trying at least to stop him, because they thought the Baron was started by Alliance, and it just turned around. So Alliance here, very smart play. They knew they weren't tank enough or health enough to just start the Baron, so they just baited it out completely, and then Copenhagen Wolves, of course, with great acting from Tabzz, hold on to it and just got in there and just died.
Going for an Oscar there. Amazing. Going to be going in. They're going to try and take the Dragon away. They need the gold right now. They're starting to be starved out by Alliance. You can see the gap that's quickly formed, an 8,000 gold gap. That's going to be lowered to 7 as this Dragon goes down slowly but surely. That will get picked up by the Wolves. Remember, the Dragon gets stronger and stronger, and more gold will go towards it as the game goes on. However, at the 33-minute mark, we're still yet to see our first level 18 on the map. Froggen, the closest to it, has been farming up a storm. 354 CS right now, and more importantly, he's got a lot of big items.
And now we are talking about Wickd, we're talking about Froggen all the time, and we really have to highlight Tabzz again.
Yes.
Like, the last game...
5-0-2 again.
Yeah, last game we went like 6-0
I think we should also
4.
probably highlight Nyph, because he's James Bond right now.
Highlight everyone. Sugar's been in the face of them as well on this Kha'Zix, doing a lot of damage and been so annoying in the team fights, but Tabzz, again, like, while he's the solo laners from the Alliance people normally focus on, he's always there, he's always performing now. Shaky start to the season, but really stepped it up now and performing so well in every single game.
Wolves are rotating to half-heartedly defend this turret, but you can see there's next to no health on it. Wicked's going to walk in. Tabzz just needs a couple of double taps, and that will go down. No problem there. YoungBuck, he's trying to split push, trying to keep something going, but Mundo is not the strongest split push champion in the world.
I get all sad when I see YoungBuck and Mundo here compared to the Jackson game 1, how powerful he was in this split push. Now Mundo's like, yeah, you're going to push the wave up to the turret, but then someone from Alliance is going to recall, go back and clear it, and that's it. You're never going to hit the turret, you're never really going to force them away from the turret, so your split pushing is just going to force someone to back off, but when there's a teleport on Ryze, no problem for Wickd, you just go back and clear the wave.
His own success punishing him in game 1. And we talked about it right at the top of the show, it's like, what is he going to do with the fact that Grengas, Heimerdinger, Renekton banned out there? What will he go with? He went with the Jax, that's now banned out. And he doesn't seem to have an answer for Wicked's Ryze. That split push Ryze has been working wonders. It was a wise ban in game 1, but they seem to let it through. It did seem to feel and maybe underestimating Wickd on Ryze.
First of all, it was actually Alliance banning Ryze in game 1 to take it away from YoungBuck and cowTard. And then looking at game 3, the champ select, Copenhagen Wolves, by continuing to ban out all these top laners, actually end up in the situation where Alliance could just first pick the Ryze like they did, and you would be in the same situation as last game, which clearly is not in favor of Copenhagen Wolves. So I'm a little bit surprised they banned away all the top laners. Maybe they didn't expect the first pick Ryze.
Well, Tabzz has got himself some free time to hit the turret there on the inhibitor. He does not quite land the shot, almost got in towards it, but it's buying time. Wickd in this top lane. Amazing's going to try and wave clear it. Wicked's just going to stroll away, but again, Tabzz on that turret in the bottom inhibitor turret. This time around does get hits on towards it. And they are starting to split. It's actually a 1-2-2 split push that Alliance are running here with this Baron buff.
Yeah, and Tabzz as well, going into the Blaze Ruin King with his 24, so his dual potential in these 1v1 to 2-2s is very, very strong. And also, Lucian with his passive can always get in, get 2 hits onto the turret, back out. And if he can just continue to do it while every single lane is being pressured up, he will get the turret.
Well, of course, every time you see him use that ability, like you mentioned, gets that double tap off, and cowTard's been feeling the pressure of that. Keeps landing those hits. cowTard slowly but surely running, draining out of mana there. Amazing trying to do a drive-by on Shook there, but he's not going to fall for that one. Froggen pushing the wave in. Everybody from the walls trying to keep them at bay here. Wickd actually pretty much soloing against YoungBuck in that top wave, but YoungBuck I don't think can face him anymore.
Well, the damage from Wickd onto YoungBuck is not amazing, so he can at least stay there and just clear the wave. That's why nobody's actually pushing towards each other. And as long as Unlimited is where Tabzz is, he makes sure Tabzz will never move into the turret and get a few hits, because there's a chance of Leona engaging onto him and killing him. But Alliance now rotating 3 members up here. YoungBuck is all alone at his turret.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hold this one. We can see Alliance slowly pushing in towards it. The rest of Copenhagen Wolves are rotating around. They've got to be careful they don't leave Tabzz alone, which is why cowTard is sticking around there. And Amazing may fancy a little go at Tabzz. Yeah, Tabzz wisely backing away from this one.
Wisely backing away, so Alliance keeping Tabzz now actually to push up the mid lane. Gonna be the same. This time there's no Leona, so he can actually get in, get a few hits. He needs of course to be careful for all the damage from cowTard in case he gets caught out by some DPS, but the rest of Alliance moving back towards the mid lane.
Going to try and come around there. Wicked's trying to get poking on towards them. They've got them out of rotation. No, you can see it's actually Tabzz that's tanking it up. Ace in the hole. Might be enough damage. No, Mega Inferno Bomb comes through. Nyph is the only one caught out by that. It will mean that they're going to back away. Amazing comes around. He uses that Agony's Embrace, but Tabzz is just tanking him through it. Froggen dives himself in towards it. Unlimited going to be the focus on target. Now he gets caught out by the Aqua Prison. Quickly popped out by Tabzz. Next focus comes in. Requiem comes down. cowTard's in trouble. He gets knocked out. It's a double with Forgiven going down. Shook pounces away. Takes a couple of tower hits. He doesn't care about them. Tabzz is trying to go aggressive. The Aqua Prison catching him up, but it's the inhibitor they are after. And it's 3 members of Copenhagen Wolves going down. They may continue on for the win.
And we were just waiting for this to happen. The comp from Alliance is so strong late game. One team fight. They destroyed Copenhagen Wolves, simple as that.
crazy, crazy stuff. They finally start picking up those kills. We knew the Requiem would do the damage, but more importantly, it was Tabzz. Tabzz going hyper-aggressive once again. 6-0-3. Fantastic stuff from him all game long. The minions continue to roll on through into the base. Still the two members of the Wolves try and defend it. There's the Nexus turret going down. There's YoungBuck going down. Amazing, the last man standing. The Nexus will fall. It's Alliance that will go through to the semi-finals to face Fnatic tomorrow. And the Copenhagen Wolves go through to the relegation match. They are still in the promotion series, but it's going to be a tough game for them.
It's going to be a very tough game. And what we've seen in these 3 games is Copenhagen Wolves, whenever they got ahead early game, gave Alliance time to farm. In game 1, they still managed to win because they had the Jax, because they had the better late game. But in game 2 and game 3, the late game from Alliance was better. And the fact that Copenhagen Wolves could never punish them or finish the games simply meant that the late game comes from Alliance would just shine.
So the Copenhagen Wolves, you see them there. Commiserations to them. They did a really great performance. Game 1 was fantastic from them, no doubt about it. But the Yasuo being taken away, the Jax being taken away. You actually saw how deflated cowTard was the moment that Yasuo ban came in. He's like, oh, that's what we were going to fall back to. And it took him away. Let's not discredit his Ziggs. Well, he went 0-4-2. He got the farm going. He kept them at bay. But simply put, all of the lanes were under pressure the whole game.
Yeah, in the last game, I mean, there's, again, the lineup for Alliance. Everything you want to have late game, there you go. Like, everything. Even Nami late game is a very strong support because, again...
It's your champion, man.
You have so much CC to bring to the team, so you're very, very strong late game as a supporter. So everything about Alliance comp here was perfect in the late game. That's it. Simple as that. So it meant for Copenhagen Wolves. That's why they locked in Leona as well, too. They needed to try and do something in the mid game, and they managed to do nothing. Every time they tried, they missed ultimates, couldn't get the engages they want, and it meant that as long as it was even in gold, Alliance were perfectly happy just extending the game, just farming away, and in the end, Alliance actually pulled ahead in gold, and then it was just a matter of time before we had this last team fight where Copenhagen Wolves they needed to try something, but they were just simply not strong enough. So, as a team for them, looking back at these matches, they're really going to regret game 2 here. They're really going to regret playing over-aggressive, making the mistakes they did because they were far ahead. They actually had the chance to do something. And also, they will regret playing so passive. Simple as that.
So, I mean, they were against the team that would basically punish being passive.
Exactly.
They didn't seem to change. With that match decided, let's check to see the brackets and see where those teams currently are. With that win, of course, it means Alliance will move on to the semi-finals where they will face Fnatic in tomorrow. That's going to be the first series of the day, a best of 3.
And what a match is going to be. Of course, both these teams, Alliance getting second place in the league and now facing on against, I mean, Fnatic are getting second in the league, now facing against Alliance. I mean, we're going to get a dream semi-final. A
dream semi-final. It does, of course, mean that the Copenhagen Wolves will be heading to the 5th place match at the end of the day tomorrow, where they will be playing the loser of the next match, which is coming up, of course, which is Rocket versus Gambit. That's going to be a huge game in itself.
I want to see what Diamond Prox is going to pull out here in 4.5. Every single time there's a new patch, you never want to face Gambit because they always got something ready, something new. They're going to pull it out, especially after boot camping and for playoffs. Let's see what Gambit can actually bring.
Let's see what they bring to the table. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, Joe and Quickshot will be here to take you into the best of 3 between Rocket and Gambit. We'll be right back.